Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another Saturday night sci-fi Shadow Chat. I'm just waiting for the usual cast of characters to show up. I just got off the phone with our good friend George from Emperor's Choice, and while it was a short call, it was, as always, awesome. Uh, Getting ready for the new release of the new Arduin game that I'll have more to fill you guys in on as soon as it comes across my desk. Here we go. Justin, how's it going, man?
Okay, okay. Probably no camera tonight.
All right, you all right?
Yeah, just tired.
Yeah. I was that way Friday, just freaking burnt, exhausted.
Yeah,
BS.
you
It was
ran out of meth. I know what it's like.
no, no. Drugs are bad. Stay in school, kids. Um,
Really
but,
bad.
but yeah,
Well, I can't do the voice.
but yeah. Got a little bit of writing done, not as much as I would have liked. Um,
Yeah.
and Getting ready for tomorrow's game. I'm
Oh yeah.
Taliban. Ooh, yes, I colored it in. I was all of like 13 when I did this, so forgive me for defacing a $200 piece of history. But I've got another copy, so it's not too bad. But oh god, if I would have known then what I know now, I would be well. I'd have more books, a lot more books.
Yeah.
Speaking of books, I got a really cool book in today. I should have brought it up, but I got the ROM comic book omnibus number 1, which is 30 comic books in one hardcover. Oh man, I'm in love with that whole concept of being able to get some of the old classics, like Iron Man 1 through 30 or something like that in a hardcover. But oh my god, they're so expensive. They're literally about $100 a piece. I picked this one up for $30, brand new, uh,
Yeah.
to my door, free shipping, etc. Mind you, it wasn't one of the most popular comic books, but it was really way ahead of its time in a way, and right up my alley, and influenced me
Is it
throughout.
my fault that you got that?
No, why would you say
Uh,
that?
'Cause, when Rom was brought up the other day, I looked it up. It showed you that.
Oh no,
Was
no,
it
it was
that?
already on order at that time.
Okay.
It took a while to get here, like more than 2 weeks. It's funny, once it got in the mail, it was like 5 days. I'm okay with that. It's a book, but
Yeah.
it came in this box that wouldn't even fit in my mailbox or the special lock box. And I've been, whenever I got something coming in the mail, I'm like checking the tracking number like 8 times a day, just to sort of get a feel of how they do things. When they, how long it takes to, from one location to get back into the next vehicle, that sort of thing. And uh, yeah, I'm really digging that idea of getting the omnibuses. I have most of the ROM comic books, but I don't want to take them out of their bags and boards and all that, and risk damaging them or whatever, and having a nice big freaking coffee table book, slip cover, 30 issues back to back, so I don't have to go digging and looking for them. I even watched a video on. I would have never guessed, but there's something you actually have to do with an omnibus like that. When you get it, you have to like take your table, lay it on its spine, and then take the two covers and lay them flat with the bulk of the book standing straight up, and take one page, then another page, then another page, then another page, to stick them, and to keep everything, the binding and everything. Uh, it's weird, but I'm glad I saw that video and I didn't like jack up $100 book by like reading it like you would a normal book. Um, and
Yeah.
it's like
That's only for preservation.
yeah, and it's like 800 pages of greatness. Unfortunately, there's a lot of comic books that I used to read that aren't in an omnibus yet, but I've been watching these videos on the guys who collect these and whatnot, uh, and it's really a great way of preserving and continuing, the love of certain comic books. Some stuff,
Yeah.
your mileage is going to vary if you were ever into them. There might be stuff you'd never want, but other things, like when I was a kid, I had a paperback book of like Spider-Man 1 through 6, the very first comic books.
Yeah.
And
Was
that
there
was something
anything
as a
to
kid
it?
I would never ever have a chance to get. You know what I mean? The Spider-Man #1, it's $1 million comic book, but a
Oh,
reprint, is something
$5.
that anybody could get a hold of, and and really get a feel for what it was like reading the very first issue of whatever it is. Funny thing is my I think it was the Los Angeles Times did the same thing. They actually reprinted the comic books and gave them out free in the newspaper. So I've got like Spider-Man 1 through 12 or 20 or whatever. It's a reprint, but I
Yeah.
looked and those reprints are like crazy expensive for the free comic book that they gave in the Los Angeles Times. Because it was like 20, 30 years ago or whatever. Um,
Yeah, and most people just threw them away because they
mhm.
were in the newspaper or whatever, right?
It felt like one of those uh those flyer those those multi-page flyers you get with coupons. It was like that
Yeah.
cheap quality, but I was like, oh my god, this is great. I bagged them, I boarded them, I saved them, and it's not the same thing as the original, but you know what, if I had the money I still wouldn't drop down $1 million for a #1 Spider-Man, other than the fact that there's like 12 left in the world. you know uh,
Yeah.
it was just crazy thinking that all those comic books, all those #1 detectives and Batman and Superman and Spider-Man that just ended up in the garbage because moms and dads didn't think they were worth a damn thing and just treated them like garbage. And I guarantee you, there's this story's been told 100,000 times across the planet where someone found out their mom and dad tossed them, and then years later they say, "Hey, 3.6 million, nice, thanks, Connell." Some 40, 50-year old guy is telling his mom and dad, "Oh, you threw away $1 million, or in this case, $3.6 million. Once upon a time, if you'd have kept your hands off my shit and left it alone,
Yeah.
I could have bought a couple of houses." But no, you didn't know what you were doing, and you can't really blame them. Back then they were treated like garbage. The same with the cover art. I was watching a video on the old pulp magazines, how they just one company just took all the paintings and put them out on the street and let people just take them. And most people didn't take them. Most of them ended up getting picked up by the garbage man, never to be seen.
Yeah. And that was in the 50s. What was the excuse in the 80s for Night Gallery when they knew that that stuff was money and they did that anyway, right? It was
None
like
whatsoever.
the
No
the
excuse.
oh, later than that because they sat around in what was it, Warner Brothers studio being used on other sets,
Hmm.
right? Because there's literally a video on YouTube of a guy who broke down what happened to that art because they were all done by the same artist. And he's like, "Oh, this painting was in this movie. This painting was in that movie. This painting was in that movie." And then, oh, the warehouse was needed for something because it had been a few years, so they just, oh, here's a photo of them all sitting out by the trash instead of like, uh, art gallery in Los Angeles. Would you like to do a novel uh selling of
Wow.
the entire collection of Night Gallery? Like they have a provenance that they're attached to something.
Hmm.
You put it in the newspaper. You,
Yep.
you say, oh, all bids starting at $100. Like you got like 700 fucking paintings there or whatever.
Yep. Not only would they have saved a piece of history, but they would have continued that tradition of inspiring artists to get their work in something like that, and then making
Yeah.
something that's bigger than just the artistic value. But you can say, hey, it was in this movie or this TV show, and then it was here and there and there. There's there's countless pieces of real art from a long time ago, but come back 500 years from now, and say, oh, look, here's the Night Gallery museum, and these each of these paintings have been now in 50 different movies and TV shows throughout that 500.
Well, even like not even that, like further movies, just selling them off to people that want to put them on the wall in their living
Mhm,
room or whatever, right?
mhm,
Like
mhm. But yeah,
it's the night gallery collection,
but
right? Like
you could literally picture certain ones being requested. It's like, hey, whatever happened to that painting? And then you
yeah,
track the owner down, and the owner makes a little money for loaning it out for a little while. You know,
exactly.
certain pieces, I guarantee you, would be cooler or better or more popular than others for whatever reason.
They
You
just
know,
look better.
or just because of the the subject matter, or the fact that this painting has actually been in 37 different movies and TV shows, and everybody's now, because of that, now they want it too. You know, uh, the- the- because when we're talking art, it's all subjective,
Yeah,
but the audience at large is eventually gonna through their however you want to look at it, kind of vote on what was the most popular or the most interesting, and nope, it's all gone now.
yeah,
And if one had a time machine, things like that would you know be the things to go after. I'm thinking, you know,
yeah.
imagine if you you or I were there, and we freaking okay, let's rent a panel truck and load it up with all the paintings,
Oh, I
and
would
then just
most definitely have done that. Even
and
though I
then
have no real actual interest in the show or most of the individual pieces of art, I would still have done that because it's like you're destroying someone's piece of art for the sole purpose of being lazy.
yep, yep. And I know right now that the few pulp magazine covers that survived are worth a fortune, and people are scrambling to find those and get those. Even just the old magazines themselves. When you think about a pulp magazine, you're lucky if you can pick up one for less than $50. And why
Yeah.
is that? You know, sure, there's some that have Lovecraft and Howard and those authors in them, so you could read what it was like, back in the day. But they had so much other little bits of history in them, with the advertisements, the letters pages, things like that, that you could really learn a lot about what it was like back then by reading just one. Just just
Mhm.
randomly grab a pulp magazine from 1933 and go through it, and you just be floored with how much you would learn about what it was like back then versus what you read in the history books or you watch on some documentary or another. You can you can judge it for yourself. You can look at it and go, oh my god, look at the price of this, or look at the the way they dressed, or
Mhm.
the way they talk and wrote and things like that in ads. Ads are a big indicator of what life was like at a certain time.
Well, it's always a little more polished than, but
Sure, sure, and it's a little over the top, but sometimes you'll see like slang words that you've never heard before, but darn well everybody back in the day knew what it meant and probably used it a lot, and then slowly, you know, it faded for in exchange for a new word or a couple of new phrases here and there. For us when we're writing, if we actually write a period piece, it helps to know how they talk. Like you're talking
yeah,
about Harry Harrison. How his vocabulary was literally stuck in the 40s or the 50s or whatever era it was. Uh,
yeah. It was. Um, I'm specifically talking about when I tried to raise stainless steel rat for
right.
the audience. that I found it to be more dated than Sherlock Holmes, which is like fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. But that it's funny
Just,
because he gave us a lot of good stuff. He gave us Death World. He gave us Make Room, which turned into Soylent Green. I believe he gave us either Rollerball or Silent Running. He gave us scores of other novels.
and
Which
all of those are really stuck in the '60s.
Mhm.
And maybe late '50s in tone and structure. Most of them were written then, but
Right, and it was harder, I think, back then to picture what it was going to be like now.
mm,
They could only imagine so far ahead, and sort of like had a cutoff point. You know,
it depends on who you were listening to, and things, because there are people from that time period that were like more accurate,
hey George,
but
get your butt in here.
yeah,
It's Saturday night, man.
Saturday Night, man. Oh, it sounds like a promo for like a
SNL.
yeah.
Yeah, as much as you didn't like it, it was really a really fun period for me and my old man. One of the few things we could bond over.
Yeah,
It
I
was
can
like,
see that. It's the like I dislike it because I'm more ideological than you are, and I can see the things that the creators push through that show.
yeah,
Uh,
I don't see much of that in the first 4 years. Later on, absolutely. Oh God, it got really bad, really quick.
well, back then they were pushing more like degeneracy and things like that. Um,
Yeah, some stuff, because of its time slot, which was like 10 o'clock at night, it
it doesn't
was
matter
kind
as
of,
time
it
slot.
was kind of, they were pushing that envelope of what they could get away with when it came to things. But it's still, by today's comparisons, it's charmingly tame. Like I said, in comparison to,
Well, yeah, you got to build up to it, right? You got to like make it okay now,
Mhm,
so it will be embraced later.
mhm. But it did have uh, some iconic characters, and it did. Had it not been for that, we would have never got Ghostbusters. So
Yeah,
there's at least that.
I'm
Hey,
willing to.
Squirrel, long time no see.
I'm willing to take the risk.
Well, it's kind of late now. I mean, we got what we got, and I can't recall
Well,
the last time it
well,
was good.
I'm working on a time machine, bro, in my head, but
Okay, go
still
ahead.
working on it.
Well, let me know when you get it, and we'll go back and you know do some time banditry, I guess.
Shoot everyone that ever thought that Saturday Night Live was a good show.
Hey now, that could create a paradox.
Yeah,
You
I'm okay with
know.
that.
Hey, Squirrel, I've been meaning to ask you, man. I know you've been busy, but have I been missing your videos? You just been like, just working like a dog. Oh, and speaking of squirrels, Peanut, you will be avenged.
Peanut?
Peanut, yeah. Peanut
What
the
the?
squirrel was euthanized, I think this weekend or last week.
Who the fuck was Peanut the Squirrel?
He is a real squirrel that someone rescued and turned into a pet, and then the
Yeah.
government had to come in with the SWAT team and take him away.
Why?
Well, because he was becoming something of a right wing, icon, if you will, kind of like
Oh,
a certain frog, and under the guise of it,
you,
being
they.
not a legitimate pet, or something like that. They went and literal SWAT team, from what I hear, and went in and it's just like, come on. I mean, really, it would take two guys in a net. It doesn't take eight guys with ARs.
Yeah.
You can look it up and prove me wrong later if you like. The couple of videos that I saw on it today, I was like, "The hell is this?" Because I had never even heard of the peanut until today, and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" I got my own peanut right here. Although, once again, he's licking the carpet. Nothing new, just working, man. Well, hey, anytime you wanna pop in and hang out with us, the link is always in my Discord at the top of the channels. The one that says live stream links. And come on in and hang out. Uh, just to let you know, Squirrel, my son, was inspired by you to go out and get himself his own fez, and he wore it around on Halloween as part of his costume. So
Yeah, I told you I was thinking about getting a fez too, right?
yeah, I don't know if I could pull one off with the hair and all. Um,
Yeah.
maybe if I pull it back and shit, I could pull it off. But I don't know. It just always struck me. The only real recollections I had of Fez's were from like Casablanca and the Flintstones and the what was it, the Order of the Water Buffalo or something, the fraternity that Fred Flintstone was part of. I forget what it was called. And I was like, that's a funny hat. And then it just sort of kind of disappeared. All hail the Fez.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's that song uh, uh, by Steely Dan, I think. But other than that, it's like one of those things that kind of disappeared until the Hermit brought him back.
Yeah. I was looking at this one. Ooh, it's not that expensive. What else? Because I'm required.
Oh dear God! I should have known.
I said I'm required.
Yeah, I just can't picture. Well, I mean, I can picture you wearing that outside, but I can't really picture anybody else wearing that outside. Um,
I wouldn't actually buy it, but it's a lot cheaper than I thought it would be.
yeah, you're terrible. You're terrible. You didn't get me in trouble one of these days. And speaking of trouble, what are you doing? I don't know what it is. He finds a spot on one of the carpets somewhere. And he just sits there and just licks it. He could be there for like minutes. I just Just weird. I should go look for why dogs do that, or if it's just my dog.
It's just your
Oh,
dog. Hey, there's George.
cool. I'll bring you in, George. What's happening, man? Deep in
Hey.
the heart of the Matrix.
Oh, good. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, yeah, fine.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good. Just got a little bit of a headache today, so I might not be able to last very long. But
that's okay. I'm not gonna go on very long with this one either. I got some stuff I got to do tonight still, and I need to get ready for tomorrow's game, and I want to get some writing done tonight as well.
Yeah.
I think I got another
George.
yeah,
page last night.
Yeah. George, what did you think of that fez?
the Fez.
The one I just had Shadow show.
Oh, I was just busy kind of setting up my camera and stuff, so I missed it. But
I think that was
Post
good.
it in Discord if you must. So
No, I already closed the page.
I finished my dice tower for
oh, cool.
Armstrong's October challenge. I didn't get to make the video for it. I'm going to do that. That's one of the things I got to do tonight and wish him a happy birthday. It's just a Pringles can with some paper clay, and I got these Halloween glow in the dark pumpkin teeth that you just shove up into your pumpkin mouth, and then a couple of you know rhinestone gems, and it works.
Do
Uh,
you do you put anything to like interfere with the dice to make them like?
yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah, I just took a couple extra Pringles lids and made like half circles and glued them on the inside so it'll bounce around. And
Oh,
then I've
cool.
got somewhere, I've got like a lid for like a one of those cookie, those plastic holiday cookie buckets, and it had a lid with a relatively, like a 1 inch lip around the lid, so it could act as the tray. But I didn't want to glue it in there because it wouldn't stick very well because it's, the certain kind of plastic to a certain kind of plastic. Even
Mm.
with a hot glue gun, it'll just yank smooth.
Yeah,
You know,
I get that
even
all
if I
the time.
scored it and everything, and I didn't want to do that because it's really like nice and shiny instead of it being, like felt or something. And I thought, you know what, maybe I might actually find something better than that to do it. But now it's pretty solid, and well, it's a 30 sided die, but it pops out and does what it's supposed to do. Now I've got like
Oh, cool.
a couple of
Yeah.
different, dice towers and dice trays, and I really like those ones that fold up. You can throw in your
Hmm.
backpack and they just like unsnap or whatever.
Yeah, there's a
What
few
exactly?
STLs on Thingiverse for like Dice Towers. Some of
Yeah.
them are foldable, but
Nice.
I tried printing one, and then involved you had to get a certain size, a specific size
Nozzle.
bottle. Like you'd because the walls were just you just buy a bottle like a Mountain Dew bottle or something,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
and I had the wrong size bottle, and I already printed it.
you can get the right size bottle though.
Yeah, that's on my to do list.
So you getting any gaming in, George?
We haven't. Last game I did was OSE couple weeks ago. We have one coming Tuesday, and I
Awesome.
was supposed to do something this week during like a little side quest part of the same game where the DM had. I'm playing a paladin, and so the DM he found like a one person quest online that like a little one person dungeon to
Cool.
run me through, and but I just haven't been able to schedule the time to meet him for that one. So we're doing I'm not sure what
Mm.
I think it's just a kind of a world. I'm not sure if it's his home broom. It's called or just or if he got it from somewhere else. But he puts different modules in different places. Like we did part of Stonehell, which is pretty fun. That's a pretty fun module. Not very much treasure in it, but a lot of danger.
I think Bubba was running that a while ago. I've noticed lately there are a lot of these dungeon modules that I hear, like a ton about, but have never
Mm,
played them. I haven't played in an actual module since probably 1984 tops.
mm,
Because I ran through like almost every TSR module, a bunch of the Judges Guild, and then modules just sort of died out of fashion or favor
mm.
for a good long time. I'm just doing my own stuff, for
Yeah,
35 plus years. Didn't even think, why would I want a module, And I keep hearing these names come up of modules, and I'm like, I don't know. Part of me wants to, check them out, see what all the buzz is about, and the other part of me is like, nah, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to say, oh, I could have done it better.
yeah.
So I just,
Wasted $30.
yep, 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 yep.
Well, it's also near the end. The modules, near the end of TSR, the modules that were being created were half the reason that the company was killed.
Yeah.
They were absolute crap, and they were overproduced. Knowing that,
Yeah, I must have missed a lot of those because the ones I have are, kind of the earlier, simpler ones that were,
yeah.
like 15, 18 pages, whatever. Obviously, it can't be 15 pages, but you know what I mean? Like, less than 20 pages, including maps and everything. And, really, really, even then they were kind of, uh,
Well, technically, they could be 15 pages. Just there'd be an extra page that's blank.
right, right.
Yeah.
But even when they first came out, they were kind of like, I want to say they were, sometimes as much as $10 for very little content. It was more, I don't know how to put it. It was kind of, like you said, maybe it was overproduced or overhyped. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. They were just, oh, it's a new module series. You got to get it. It's only $8.99. I remember I got Tomb of Horrors for Christmas for my brother before he lost his ever loving mind, and I got another one. I forget which it was. One year, both on Christmas, and I ran it, and it was like this sucked. Running it and playing it, I can imagine that, Tomb of Horrors was just like designed to kill everybody. Period.
Yeah. There was like that. The instead of making it fun, we'll make it hard,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a replacement. And then, um, like what's her face wouldn't let them play the game in the office, which is like part of designing games is playing them. It's
Mm-hmm.
called quality control.
Or I almost wonder if that was. I know it wasn't, but play testing. How much play testing was done, for other games prior to that? Back in the day, things like Monopoly or Uno or whatever.
A lot. Like
Yeah,
they would play them.
and how she couldn't know that. It's like,
Well, she wasn't like she was like an accountant or something. I don't know.
yeah,
She
yeah.
came from like a different industry. I can't remember her name.
Was it Williams?
I want to say Tracy. Ah, doesn't matter. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, she wrote on Sesame Street, and there's a toasty place in hell for her, and all people like her who want to get more money out of a product than make a good product.
Yeah. And when they couldn't make the money out of the product, they tried making their money out of the printing houses,
Yeah.
which is like really dumb.
Well, I mean, I could see,
Well, fucking over a vendor, right? That's what they were doing, fucking over a vendor. Uh,
yeah, there's no need for that. Unless you have no morals, you're corrupt, and you're about to look at down both barrels of bankruptcy.
well, they were all those things.
That's why I said it. Because there was a really, kind of like Games Workshop. There was this period for TSR where it was everything about it was awesome. The products that were the spirit and the feel of the hobby, where
Hmm.
it was about to break out of that nerddom, that awkward phase, and become the swan instead of the ugly duckling of games. And even
Mm.
for a little while after that, it churned out some really good stuff that to this day it's hard for you'd be hard pressed to find something as good. Um,
Honestly, I think if they were smart, because back then you didn't print um, in separate locations unless
mhm,
it was overseas. You printed in one location and shipped.
mhm,
I think it would have been a lot smarter for them to invest their early revenue into buying their own printing house
mhm,
and then leasing it out when they weren't printing their books instead of printing with a bigger name.
mhm.
But no, they were too
Yeah,
busy
I'm looking.
licensing
I'm looking
out
down
IP instead.
on a shelf. You guys can't see. It's just like these, but it's
Uh,
full of nothing but soft cover D&D products, modules, game books, magazines, etc. Um, I'm going
mhm,
to go from like say 79 to about 84. I want to say that it was probably the
mhm.
best part of the hobby, chronologically, where
Mhm.
everything that came out was just like it
Yeah.
brought us so much joy to get the new book. I remember when like
Yeah.
the Fiend Folio, the Unearthed Arcana, Monster Manual 2, I was at the shop when the boxes came in and I got to open them and grab the first one out of the box. This one's mine. Take it out of my pay, whatever. We were, just so elated with the possibilities that these simple books and products, brought, because it wasn't like, a read once kind of thing. You would pour over
Mm-hmm.
these books day after day after day, just finding more stuff. It's like watching your favorite old movie and discovering things that you never discovered before, or reading an old book that you forgot. Oh, I forgot that this happened, or I forgot that happened. Just finding all this great stuff in all of their products for such a great period of time. And then second
Yeah.
edition came out,
Well,
and then it was all about the bloat, the splat books,
Mm.
hyper everything. And when I got the second ebooks, the player's handbook, the monster manual, the DMG, I'm like, there's some cool stuff in here, but it just doesn't feel the same. It
Yeah.
just lost, like, it's like they sucked all the magic out and replaced it with second,
rules.
second rate crap.
Yeah.
I
Where
know a lot.
where you
Go
should
ahead.
be trimming down and smoothing over like janky stuff when you innovate, not or
Well,
iterate,
it
not
was literally the beginning of the woke and the dumbing down and the streamlining for the lowest common denominator. They knew they
mm.
could make money if they made it more accessible to people, more people, and
Well, you want to do some of that, but
sure, sure. Hello.
there's a like, then you're like, well, this seems thin now, so let's just add stuff into it. And it's like,
Yep, yep,
no,
yep.
no.
Hello.
Yeah.
How
They
are
have
you?
like handbooks for like specific classes, like a
Yes.
warrior handbook and
Yeah.
stuff like
I've
that.
Yeah,
got most of them down here. The uh,
yeah.
the 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 complete, bard's guide or illusionist or whatever, and some of those were okay, but what they'd already done to the core mechanics, watering down things, taking out things like the assassin, and sort of wimpifying everything in
Well,
a
like
way.
I understand taking out the individual class assassin if there's then like, well, you can pick any other class and then just add the assassin ability to them, right?
Yeah,
But
but it
which
was all it
is
was all about appeasing the uppity moms that were afraid of, their children being, uh, harmed in some way by playing, an assassin, or looking at a succubus and seeing a little side boob, or things like that. Just the whole satanic panic.
where if I wrote it and you had a succubus, you'd see whole boob.
I could count on you there.
I'm just saying,
Yep, yep.
boobs are good. We like boobs. If you
Yes.
don't like boobs, I question who you are.
Only to turn around, what is it, 40 some odd years later, and everything that they were afraid of, they've become. Everything, that they tried to protect people from, they're now shoving in people's faces. All the
Mm-hmm.
woke bull crap, all the degeneracy, and
Mm-hmm.
not
The
just
dog
that,
wants
but
me to take her out.
the mediocrity. You
Yeah,
know,
but it's not boobs that they try to shove down your face. It's balls.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. I was telling Raven about some of the stuff that they had changed, in the new book, like the Mexican orcs, and the dwarven barista baker, nonsense and things like that.
Yeah.
And she couldn't
You,
fathom.
you know there. You know how like there are constant mini trends in fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's always like the flavor of the week because somebody wrote something different and
sure.
people like it because it's a fresh breeze or whatever.
Yeah, breath of fresh.
Um, uh, so right now they got this thing called cozy fantasy, right? It's like not a lot of tension, just like people doing their stuff. And I think that's why they did that for the new D&D, because it's like the fantasy trend right now.
Mhm. The
Um,
slice of life as opposed
yeah.
to actual adventuring. Going to what was it, the Radiant
Well,
Citadel and things like that. Yeah, sure, but
there might be like some adventuring, but nothing super like, oh, it's just a bunch of cute bunny beasts. Let's take one home, wee, or whatever, right? Like, there's nothing super horrific going to happen in the story. Um, it's a nice, relaxing kind of time where, and you get that kind of sense with the new, like, if you're aware of that trend in fantasy, that like
mhm,
pop subgenre,
yeah,
because it's not a subgenre that will last. It's just a pop up one, right?
yeah.
Um, if you're aware of that, you see that in the new, like they're trying to grab that because it's profitable at the moment, but it's the wrong thing to be going
Well,
for.
part of it, a lot of it has to do with I can't help but noticing that my generation and maybe the one after were like the last generation of bike riding kids, dirt dirt clod fights, tromping through the wilderness, in your local
Yeah,
area.
we did that kind of stuff.
But they don't do it anymore, and they haven't for a good number of years. It's been frowned upon. You don't let your kids go playing in the open field, behind such and such with their friends to get into a rock fight or you know pretend to
Rock fight.
right? Or light up fireworks, on the 1st of July when no one's around, or ride into the arcade to play some video games and then go over
Or
to
play
Tommy's
laser
house,
tag on the roof of that building over there.
or be at
Oh wait, no,
school
we
after
never told the parents we were
hours.
doing
Just
that.
the just total
Uh,
wimpifying and watering down of what kids were allowed to do anymore, and that shines through with these new products that we're talking about. They're clearly written by and for kids who've never touched grass other than at school, that have never
yeah,
been on a hike, never went down to the local drainage ditch and just threw rocks into the the water, or done just like normal crap that we did, making slingshots out of old tires and sticks, or just being able to ride your bike around other than just to and from school and hurry up and get home, because whatever, insert your favorite reason. I mean, we would be out on our bikes all day. I mean, I probably spent just as much time riding my bike as I did. I'm not going to say in school, but like half
yeah.
as much. Literally, like I could say half as much time from K to 12. I was on a bike, because we were there like 8 hours a day. Well, I was on my bike 4 hours a day, going from a friend's house to another house to the local liquor store, play a couple video games, then go down to the drainage ditch and catch pollywogs or whatever. Just all
Yeah,
all gone from at least urban society. And real quick, X
Yeah.
Gennard Prime. I don't know what this is. Can you give us some more information? It looks like something that people who watch the show might be interested in. Now, if it's a timeshare thing, I'm gonna. But it looks like something that budget and legal equal the Open Gaming Network is a family of wiki-like rules reference websites for various open gaming licensed game systems or similarly licensed RPG systems. And welcome to the show.
yeah. It looks like a reference thing from what you're saying. Okay, so I just put up a picture of the it's the Google Maps. This building right here, if it's up,
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to bring
yeah,
up Squirrel's thing, and then I'll bring up your thing.
yeah.
I totally agree, Squirrel. Justin, here we go. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, this is honest, dads. This building is not here anymore. They tore it down and put up skyrise
Uh-huh.
condos or whatever. We used to play laser tag on top of the roof of this building.
Huh.
Nice.
Um, this is 2009. This bookshop was our game store. Our game store closed down, right? But this bookshop, there was a ladder, like the escape ladders at the back of
Sure.
the building, and that's how we get up there.
Were those residential places above the store fronts?
Yes,
See,
yes,
that's what I want. That's exactly what I want.
yeah. Sadly, none of this is here anymore. It all got torn down. Uh,
That looks like a great,
2018.
a great place to grow up around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
this is what it
It's like
looks like today.
Jesus Christ, ugly,
Yeah,
ugly, ugly.
actually, that bookstore is still there. That's that building.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate it too. I like even if they just gotten this facing for the whole thing, and it was like the condos above it. Even if it was like faked, I
Uh huh.
still like
Yeah,
the
it's just I realize it's in Canada, but it had what you showed us had a very American, you know, Western, 1940s to
yeah,
80s look to it, where
Yes,
you
it's
could
small
just
town America.
yeah,
yeah.
thank you,
Well, we have the same building structures and design, right?
sure. But you know what I mean. I'm not taking anything away from you guys, but it looks like a great
Yeah,
place to grow up and raise a family.
yeah,
You know where the kids are. You know where everybody's hanging out. And then they turn it into Gotham.
yeah. My high school was there, so
Oh
What
my
city is
God!
it?
Oh, you couldn't
what?
ask for better.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're
my high
done with
school.
school. Where's everybody going? They're either going home or they're going over there.
Yeah, where the gun range was.
Okay with that,
No, we had a range in the school.
right? We had an archery range, and in other schools we had them as well. Not
Yeah,
here in California, but you know
we
what I mean.
mostly used it for archery, but it was originally a gun range. And that other building that was we went across to get to my high school. That was a Catholic girls' school,
Mm.
otherwise known as the hunting ground.
Uh huh. Nice, nice.
Uh,
Let Cupid's arrows fly. I don't know about the first sentence there, Squirrel. I actually believe there is an absolute right and wrong, but everything else there, yeah. Uh, and X Gennard says, "Oh, it's a description of the OGN compilation of SRDs to various games, and it's one of my preferred means of getting ideas and designing my own homebrews." Cool.
okay.
Yeah, I just make up my own shit and you know run it by my players and of course George and Dave and
Hmm.
I'm pretty set in my ways. I mean, if I had to narrow down my collection to 10 games, they'd all be like 40-year-old games.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to break yourself of that because we're creating our own system, motherfucker,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Just
you're gonna love it. It's gonna be your favorite system ever, ever, ever.
yeah, yeah.
Or I'll tase you.
No, I was looking at Men, and sorry, I don't know who wrote it. I have my suspicions, but I really don't like the mechanics. It's
I'm
it's
okay with that.
it's okay with. I mean, it's one of those games where it uses a D12, which I can respect, just the D12, I think, and it's one of those games with you need so many successes to do this or that, and I'm like,
Uh,
I
like a pool of 12s or whatever.
yeah, it's like you need 2 or 3 successes to do this thing because it's hard. Like that's just kind of overly complicated for mind you, I'm not all the way through it, but
Yeah.
for
Hey George, what are you doing Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern time
1 o'clock Eastern.
on Wednesdays?
Uh, Nothing right now, but I usually work like do my day job, but like I work from home for my own business.
Okay, because we're looking for someone to DM men for us.
Yeah, George seems like the perfect guy to run man. Or
Yeah, he just has to sit there and let us do whatever the fuck we're doing.
yeah, it's funny as hell. I love it, but I'm just like uh, if I was going to make a game called Men, the rules would be really simple. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they make an argument over the very kind of mechanics we're trying to use. Justin, make it simple. You got a
Yeah,
target number. You add your bonuses and a die roll to beat it. And I'm like, what's wrong with that? That's just simple, you know, man style mechanics. Just make it, you know, not too complicated, or you make it so overly complicated that only men can understand it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, did he
You
just say
want it.
that?
You want it. You want it so easy that you can be halfway through a bottle of Jim Bean, a case of Jim Bean. Sorry, and still be able to play.
What? What? The door's open. You want to come say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody. Hello. Hello.
Mm,
What do you want? I fed you. I fed you even
Chewy.
twice today.
I don't care. I want more food.
Yeah, he does. But he's going to get a smooch. He hates when I do that. Ugh, and now I got dog snot all over my face. It's moisturizer, Daddy. It's moisturizer.
Yeah.
Where's your brother? Where's Jackie? Go get to Jackie. Jackie loves you the most. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's a boy. He got Chewy when he was 3, and Chewy was, like 3 months old. And unfortunately, Chewy takes to me more because I'm home all day, and I'm the alpha
Mhm.
dog here, so he's like always trying to kiss my ass. Hey, hey, stop
You're
licking my
the one
desk.
that gives him food. It's the only reason. What's
Do you have to use the B word on you? I could break your heart in front of all of America. It's like, nope, I'm out of here. I know the B word. Yeah,
uh what?
BATH. If I say that word, he will run from the room. And instead, I just gave him the B word look, and he bailed. He doesn't like baths for some reason.
Oh,
I mean, he and I have gotten into fights over it. Me trying to pick him up and him drawing all kinds of blood and shit, and me having to tase him and beat him over the head with a rock.
don't beat the dog over the head with the rock. You have a perfectly good taser, man.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I just couldn't find it, and the rock was there.
No,
But
they make tasers specific for dogs.
I was looking into a cattle prod last month.
No,
Uh,
no, no, for dogs. You
yeah,
wrap it around their neck and it just stays there,
right, right.
reminding them who's boss all fucking time.
It's funny. One time, the time he really scratched me up really bad because he didn't want that bath. Um, and then he ran, right? And we couldn't find him anywhere. We looked everywhere, outside, under the beds, everything, right? He somehow, I kid you not, I'm going to stick with this story till the end of my days, that he teleported into the locked bathroom door and into the bathtub.
Mm.
We couldn't find him anywhere, and we didn't get him into the bathroom. We were trying to get him in, and he ran away. And we all looked high and low for him. And then I looked in the bathroom, and there he was sitting in the bathtub, like, all right, let's get this over with. And from like that point on, it's been kind of less of a difficult thing. I try to be nice about it, but he's just like he doesn't like the feeling of being wet and cold. And then once he's done and he's dried off, what does he do? Runs in the backyard and rolls in the grass.
Yeah, because he wants to feel clean. He wants to feel clean, and you've dirtied him
Yeah, yeah.
with your
I think
water and soaps and
there is something to that. They don't like the smells and things like that. They should just make it smell like peanut butter.
well, don't use shampoo
Yeah,
or baby oil or whatever. Just water
yeah.
and use the shower head.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we do. But we use actually a dog shampoo.
Yeah, well, don't. You don't
and,
need it.
and then what do you call it? Now we actually get a big spoonful of peanut butter, and someone holds it, and he, licks the peanut butter, and we just sprints, wash them off, and you know, try and make him look presentable. But you've met him.
And overwashing your dog is actually unhealthy.
Oh, he definitely doesn't get overwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally knew a girl a couple of years ago who would wash her cat
Ooh.
every fucking day.
Was that cat bald?
Nope, nope.
Sure.
She was a psycho. Yeah, she was just absolutely out of her freaking mind. I'm surprised she didn't have like just freaking massive scars up and down. But
Yeah.
I mean,
So what was the theme for today's show? Because I
oh,
can't see it.
we were supposed to talk about the planets that we created, and go over and describe, details about uh, all the categories that we should have filled out. And I'm certain nobody did any of the work because I didn't get on your asses like midweek and remind everybody. But with
What the categories you listed off last week?
yeah,
I
I,
I filled out the thing in my sheet that's in the.
okay,
I I
I
wrote it
did
down
it
as
while
we
we
went
were on the
along.
show. That's why I kept muting.
oh okay,
You were saying, George?
Oh, I wrote it down as we went along.
Yeah.
cool. The only thing I didn't get was the size. I didn't actually look up the the diameter of Pluto. Um,
Yeah, I looked it up, but I don't know if I was accurate or whatever. I can't remember any of it. It's written down.
Yeah, I think it's a 3 or something. Um, 25 like 25% gravity. Pluto's similar. I
Tiny
think
little
it's
ball of rock.
yeah, it's pretty small. It might be even smaller than the moon. I'm not sure.
I
Oh,
think it is
it's really
actually.
small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's only the they still list the largest rock in that cluster as Pluto, but Pluto Major or whatever.
Uh,
What room was that put in? Do you remember? We were putting all that stuff in
no, what do you mean room?
in your Discord.
What channel?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that we did that at all. If you wanted to put it in anywhere, I
I'm pretty sure we were putting that stuff in someplace.
let me take a look and see which one it might be.
Yeah.
Pre-stream. Nope. That's a live channel. General memes, schedule and calendar. Book club, no. Craft, no. One-on-one, no. Paranormal, no. No. Venture Brothers chat. Prepping for gamers, no. Ravenloft. Files, emergency numbers, music we love and hate. Uh, sci-fi ideas or sci-fi shadow chat creations. And the only thing there is Exiles of Enyo.
That would
And let's see,
be
sci-fi
it's
ideas.
the that would be the you said sci-fi ideas. Uh,
It looks like it, but there's nobody did that. There's just all kinds of cool sci-fi ideas.
oh,
I think it's where we posted the pictures.
Sci-fi images, maybe. Flavium Locusta, George's character. Yeah, there's not much in there yet. I would probably put it in uh, the middle one, which is Sci-Fi Shadow Chat Creations channel. When you get to
Yeah,
it,
where I put the exiles of,
with
and
whatever you can
yeah,
post there.
if you open up that document and go down
Yeah.
to the category of Mars, that's the list of things we talked about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for Pluto, I put Starport Type B. Mind you, it's secret. Most of what's Pluto's like the bad guy planet, so a lot of the info is not supposed to be available to the characters. But size, I think I put one or two. Atmosphere, tainted.
Mm-hmm.
Water, 20%. Population, question mark, because nobody knows. Government type was a uh, what do they call it? Like a technocrat
Mm-hmm.
oligarchy. Law level is 0, and tech is I put it around tech level
Mm-hmm.
15, I think, because I didn't think I wanted to go much higher than that. And mind you, there's a lot of, just because you have like a high tech level, that may only represent one small slice of
Mm-hmm.
everything on the planet. Like, for example, you may have a high tech level, but people are still walking around with swords for their, self defense purposes, because that's,
Yeah,
a
I got something like
cultural
that.
thing or something like that. Where, sure, like with John Carter, there's no law level when it comes to weapons, and Mars, John Carter's Mars, but they have a built-in thing where, if the guy comes at you with a dagger, you don't pull
Mm-hmm.
out a gun. You pull out your dagger, face a man to man, equal or lesser. If he's the instigator and he pulls out his gun, well, you can pull out your gun, but if he doesn't, you shouldn't or can't or will be ostracized for being a wussy for breaking out your gun when all he pulled
Yeah.
out
And
was a
also,
knife. Whereas here on Earth, a guy pulls out a knife and you've got a gun, you blast him because that's just logical. You don't want him to come up and start stabbing you while you're going, oh, let me put my gun away and look for my knife so we could be on even
yeah,
terms.
and
Like,
like
hell no.
melee weapons and stunners on a spaceship might be like more considered heinous if you don't do that.
There's
Because
also
you,
there's also some shotgun and revolver ammunition in Traveler that are meant to specifically not hurt the ship, not pierce a bulkhead or
mm,
decompress the ship, because they're like either rubber bullets or things like that, or they may be regular lead rounds, but the powder's low, or I forget how they described it. Plus, there's a lot of like tranquilizing things and stuff like that, so that you're not you know destroying this multi-billion credit
Well,
starship
you're not destroying
because someone
it. You're just putting a hole in the hull that needs to be patched and need new air
it
because
means
it's all vented.
I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Okay, you might get some vacuum
Getting
welded
shoved.
parts, but it's, a, it's only a renovation. You gotta chop the thing
Mhm,
up when you take it to the
mhm.
chop shop anyway. So
Yeah. Can you imagine getting squished through like a bullet hole, just being pushed through it,
um
you know, blown out?
the explosive decompression is exaggerated in films, bro.
I know. Still though, that'd be like a horrific way to die, unless
Well,
it's like
I'm just
your
putting it to you
head and
this
it's
way. I'm willing to test as long as you're the subject that we're testing it on.
of course you are.
Specifically
Of
you.
course you are. What are friends for? Right? What a pal, what a pal, what a pal, what
Uh,
a pal.
Now, I'm just saying, specifically, making this point clear, specifically you.
Right. Of course. Hold on a second. I want to write this stuff down from X Gennard and take a look at it. The open
Oh, from earlier. Network.
Gaming Network.
Yeah.
Cool. Never know what you might find. I still need to get back to reading Sathonian Stars. That really was, uh, as far as I got into it. It looked like it was a solid traveler, all in one. Everything you could need. You want to play, Call of Cthulhu Traveler style is all you need. It's all right here. Boom. Couple hundred pages, and everything from character generation, starship, planet generation, creatures.
Huh. Do, 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 do. Huh. I'm distracted looking at that site now.
Hey, no, sorry, I'm a little behind on that. Plus that and basic fantasy and Osric circumventing Wizards of the Coast and bloated stupid
Yeah.
corporations. Sure, I'm all for people. Oh, I figured that, Hermit. Um, yeah, after the second reading, the first part was sarcasm. We need to invent, patent the sarcasm font.
Mm.
Yeah, if it was something like lowercase,
I thought it was
you know what I
common
mean?
Comic Sans. Now,
Could be.
writing trick when editing, if you replace the things you want to edit in Comic Sans, it's supposed to be like help you do that. Like apparently you see mistakes easier in it or something. Um, yeah.
I could see that.
So I heard that not too long ago. Figured maybe if you're writing something and you're done your first draft or whatever, you might want to try it.
Might do. Hopefully, I'll actually get to do some writing tonight. More
And,
than one
and
whole
Comic Sans
page.
is on Google Docs.
Google Docs.
So you just highlight and replace.
What
Like
what does it look like?
Comic Sans, when you go through the font section, it's listed as Comic Sans. Like
Okay.
they all have their names.
No, I'm just trying to
Have you
picture
ever
like
read a
how
comic
it
book?
looks.
Like an old comic book, like a Silver Age
Sure.
comic. That's,
Sort of like
yeah.
more rounded letters.
Yeah, like they were written in pen sloppily.
Uh-huh. Right. Okay. That's what I figured. Uh, but it's actually been a while since I've actually read a comic book. That's why I was so happy to get this ROM omnibus. I did get the Vampirella omnibus #1 about a year ago. I read the first one, the first comic book that's in it, and I haven't been able to get
Here,
back to it.
I'll switch this thing for Mars to Comic Sans and pull it up for you so you can see it. Uh, do, 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 do.
And I think it's getting
Yeah,
ready to rain here.
can you see that?
See what? Hold on. No, it's too
Okay,
small.
I'll pop it up to like 200. You see how that
Oh,
looks?
okay. Yeah.
That's Comic
Yeah.
Sans, and there's everything I have written for that. Memorize it now. Don't bug me
Gotcha.
later.
Size 3,000 something
Oh, I
kilometers.
shut it down. Too late. You better have memorized it all, or else.
I could just go and look
Shut
it
up.
up.
You and your technically correct.
Someone's got to be right.
It's the best type of correct.
Funny that it's me.
What was that from again? Uh, oh,
Thanks, X
ex
Gennard. Am
Gennard.
I pronouncing that right? Because
It's
Gennard
Gennard.
doesn't sound
It's the
right.
offi- it's it,
Gennard.
it's the
Yeah,
official pronunciation now. It's Gennard. It's Gennard Prime.
it reminds me of all the names. I was watching some Babylon 5 videos today, and I made the mistake of watching all the actors that had passed away. It was like, yeah, and mind you, this was 6 months ago. So there was like 51 or 52 actors from that had passed away, since Babylon
Yeah,
5 came out.
great show. Like 2/3 of
Yep.
the main cast.
Yep. Franklin, Delenn, Jakar. Londo wasn't amongst them, but Veer was. How fucking
Veer's
ironic is
dead.
that?
Londo isn't.
Yeah. So when Majel Barrett, as I forget her name, said one of you will be
Was he the guy in Animal House?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
Yes. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life.
You're absolutely wrong, sir. It's a fat, drunk, and stupid way to go through life.
Yeah. And if you're fat, drunk, and stupid, you'll never realize that you're fat, drunk, and or stupid.
Uh, I should really finish the trifecta off and become an alcoholic.
I don't recommend it. It's not
Well,
fun.
I won't know that until I've done it. And then I won't know it because I'm doing it.
What's that movie where
Funny how that
you ever
works.
see Leaving Las Vegas with
Yes,
that
I'm
Nicolas
is
actually not a
Cage.
fan of
Yeah.
that movie.
What? Yeah, it's a pretty grim movie. I mean, was it Ellen Barkin who
I don't
played the whore in
remember.
it?
Meg Ryan, I think. Leaving Las Vegas.
No, could have sworn it was
Well, I'm looking
Ellen
it up.
Barkin. I could be.
She was
Yeah,
in
that
Buckaroo
movie
Banzai.
is
Yes,
like,
it was Elizabeth Shue.
Oh,
oh, okay, yeah, because Meg Ryan is just too happy to
Yeah,
play
but I
that
knew it
character.
was like not Alan Barkin, and that name came to my
Okay,
mind for some reason. I figured it was wrong. That's why I went to look it up.
it's funny.
the best scene that she's in.
I was just thinking about that movie a while ago. Just,
It's not Nicolas Cage's worst movie. That would be Con Air. Con Air is the worst movie ever fucking made. You fucking wrong person if you think otherwise. I don't get people who like that movie. It is a fucking horrific film.
there were a couple of things about it I liked. The way they escaped in the plane, with the different techniques to hide stuff about one's person, you know, was pretty ingenious.
I don't care. I don't care that the plane crash into the strip was cool. I don't care that they did some interesting stuff here and there. It was a stupid and bad film, and people should be embarrassed for that thing existing. And I don't mean like specific people, I mean all people. All people everywhere and through all of history should be embarrassed that that film exists. When you see your Aunt May
That's
next time, because you're Spider Man, you should hang your head in shame because fucking Con Air exists. but she won't be able to see you because she's also hanging her head in shame because Con Air exists.
I was trying to get Jackie to watch season 5 of Venture Brothers with me today. Of course, no go.
I told you.
Um,
Tell him he's grounded until his show's done.
yeah, I should do that. I'll do that after this show. I'll tell him, hey, you're grounded until we watch Venture Brothers, and he'll just like
Okay.
go back to whatever he was doing. But I was thinking about Nathan
Our
Fillion's
poorly
part.
our poorly deceased friend Shauner said that I'm an authoritarian, bossy father, and now I'm ordering you to watch an episode of the Venture Brothers, you stupid little child.
I've never seen that one, Ex Gennard. That's the one with Sean
Oh,
Connery in
The
it, right?
Rock. The Rock is a great film. It was the we want to do a James Bond but retired film, but we can't get the license, so we're just gonna film it anyway and change everyone's name. Kind of like Moonraker. I think it was Moonraker.
Yeah, that one was dumb. I didn't like that one, but I didn't like Roger Moore. Hate me for not
Nah,
liking
okay.
Roger Moore, but he was just like I. Oh, hey, here he is. Hey,
Yeah.
you're grounded until we watch Venture Brothers.
Good man.
How
Yeah.
great.
So when the show's over, we're going to be watching some Venture Brothers.
Yep. That'll be in 43 minutes. 42 and a half minutes.
Yeah, I think we're going to
Yeah.
stop it at the 2 hour mark because I got to get stuff done, and it's if it starts raining, I might have to go and cover the firewood. I'm not
You
looking
know,
forward to. I
generally
also
keeping
got
it
to.
covered when you're not using it.
Well, what I'm using to cover it is deteriorated, and I need to just check it and make sure, it's not got gaping holes in it
I see you did not
with the
build
tarps.
a proper firewood outhouse, like a shed.
No, I've
You
got
just
some.
got like a blue tarp
I
from 1942 that you stole off of a poor Palestinian woman who needed her dashiki or whatever. I don't know what the fuck thing's called. Her hijab. No, no, you stole it off of
I've got
a
a
black
couple
power
of drawings.
activist from the 80s. It was a dashiki.
I've got a couple of metal dry racks because I mean it rains like less than a week a year out here, except on very rare occasions where it rains like every day for a
Yeah,
month.
we call that the raining season.
Because where we live, it's weird. We live at a higher elevation, and you could literally watch the clouds go around our area. Just like, what is this, Mount Shasta?
Yes. Yes.
I, I suppose. Speaking of Mount Shasta, I invited Raven on, but she's got a class she's teaching tonight, so
What the
she
fuck does she
probably
teach?
won't
Does she
make
get
it.
paid for teaching that class? At the
Yes.
annex? Is it
No,
is
it's
it
online.
a class about palm reading or yeah?
Something like that, channeling your inner Bigfoot or recognizing ley lines in your
No, no.
neighborhood,
Ley lines are specific
stuff like that.
geographic locations. You can't find them in your neighborhood.
Well, if your neighborhood's right on one, why not?
Raven, Raven, Raven. For
I,
shame.
I, I'm kind of scared to read what she writes for the next
Oh
writing
yeah,
challenge.
George, you should join us next Friday for week 1 of Naughty November, which will be going through half of December.
Romance.
No, no, not romance. Erotica.
Oh,
Keep it clear. We don't
do
care what your emotions. We want to know about your junk.
paranormal romance.
If you want it to be paranormal.
Abnormal, but just abnormal. It's
Well,
Bride of
Uh,
Frankenstein.
uh, these days, I don't know that it's all that abnormal. That's
uh,
the scary part. Um,
we're just following the Amazon rules. No graping, no under 18, no bestiality,
Oh,
and
no dead
yeah,
people.
no incest. I guess necrophilia too.
I
Uh,
should hope so. I mean, if that's okay, but
I don't
everything
know. I
else
don't remember
isn't,
seeing it there,
just saying.
but we're going to add necrophilia if it isn't. So no incest, no under 18, no animals like actual animals like dogs. Wolfmans are okay, but dogs no. Uh,
oh,
uh,
thank goodness.
and what was the other one? Graping, raping. No raping. You're actually allowed to say it on YouTube. Uh, that's a
Take care, Excanard. I hope you subscribe and you come back. You seem like a
yeah.
solid dude. He says, "Good night. 2 hours seems up, and it's too bad we can't make counter videos and comedy roast Shauner, witnessing us having fun with him." Yeah, I'm. I just talked to his family last week, and someone needs to hurry up and take over his channel. Otherwise, somebody is very likely to get it taken
Yeah,
down, and that would be kind of chicken shit. You know what I mean? Now that the guy can't, even do
yeah,
anything about it, even fight it or whatever. And there's some good stuff with me and Jackie on it, and other people on his show that if people are gonna try to keep doing the 4D thing, they're gonna want that as a permanent
hmm
record, you know. Um, to get the little bits and pieces of that for posterity, because I'm pretty sure if uh, YouTube found out that he was gone, they might just take it down
mm.
on their own. I don't know what the
I think they
policy is
they
for that.
archive that shit or whatever.
Or if somebody who got their feelings hurt, started just flaming it, and reporting it, and then he just would be technically ignoring it by their standards, and then they just go, all right, well, you don't care, so
Yeah.
boom, gone.
Um. Yes and no. If it's one of those weird things. I wouldn't
you know
worry
uh,
about it too much.
yeah, well, I mean, there's some classic, like him calling me a
Well,
control
you are.
freak,
You just
that'll be.
grounded your son for not watching the Venture Brothers.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. um,
Just-
him calling you a waste of
whoa.
space,
I resemble that remark.
and forget what he said about TCG and some of our other friends. You know, DM James did the same thing recently. He deleted
Yeah.
all his old videos, which I
It's
was
not
just
the
like,
first
"You've
time he's
got to be
done it
freaking
though.
kidding me!"
So
No, I know, but I can't even picture doing that. It's like,
no, I
you
mean like in
know,
the last year. Yeah,
really, I
a
thought
couple of months
I
before I
don't
started
remember
streaming
that.
18 hours a
I,
day. Yeah.
Really, I could have swore that that was like
No.
years ago, maybe even like before I met him, as opposed
Yeah.
to that recent. Because he lost that great video with him and Hungar, one-on-one role playing and stuff like that, and
Yeah. Oh.
it's something I'll never do,
hmm
or at least I can't picture a reason to do so. I can see making them private for a
Uh,
while if I go on
I,
vacation or
I
something,
did it once when
and
I
even
when
then,
I
that's like,
stopped my Minecraft thing. I just got rid of all that shit. It wasn't going anywhere. I didn't really like the. the fact that all the people that were watching it were under 10.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Uh,
see that. I can't, I suppose I could picture some people maybe making a channel geared
yeah.
for youngins like that,
My
but
personality,
these days
no.
it's just like these days I wouldn't go into it with that mentality. It's like, yeah, let's make a kids channel. No, 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 no,
Mm.
not doing that. Um,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Creepy shit.
yeah, yeah. You don't do that. That's
Yeah,
contagious.
I should do it more often then. I like forcing people to do shit. Makes me feel like I'm not a waste of space.
You just got through saying no, no, no grapey
No,
stuff.
what? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, wow. That there's forcing people to do shit, and then there's forcing people to do shit. Mm.
No, don't do that. Um,
Uh,
don't do that. Don't do that. That's just awful. If you can't, find a willing participant, there's always Vegas.
if you can't find a willing participant, there's always paranormal fantasy.
It's funny.
So, so,
I watched this video today and I didn't finish it.
George, I
Go
didn't
ahead.
get an answer from you. Are you joining us on Friday?
I think I'll have to pass on this one.
Fucking coward. Weak sauce, Raven tier, not showing up, coward. You will write some goddamn erotica or else. Nah, I don't really care, bro.
Love you too,
Party
Squirrel. Take
on.
care, man. Give the fam a hug for us, and don't be a stranger, man. Anytime you want to chill with us, you are always welcome. Hey, what's
And
up,
both
Doc?
to Squirrel and Doc, what you doing on Friday?
I am gonna so have to learn how to encrypt that file on my computer, or delete the file when I'm done, because I keep having this like reoccurring waking nightmare that whatever I write in that is going to either come back to haunt me in the worst possible way, or it's going to be so freaking popular that I'm going to get roped into writing more of it, which
Well, that's why you have a
twist
pen
my
name.
arm.
Mine being Maya D.
Yeah.
Hertz. So,
Speaking of incredibly crazy shit, you guys all
Bob
remember Bob
Crane.
Crane, right?
That name sounds familiar.
What
Oh
Okay,
was
yeah,
yeah,
yours?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The finger in the butt guy.
Okay, I don't know that
he had
reference,
crazy
but
sex parties.
my old man,
Yeah.
he
And he got freaked out when
right,
his
right.
buddy
Oh,
put his finger in his butt.
okay, well, um, no worries, Squirrel,
Yeah,
no worries. Come and check us out,
yeah.
whenever you get the time.
Working.
And well, my old man, my
Yeah.
old man worked in Hollywood. I can't really say what he did, but he worked in Hollywood for a
He
good
was a
many years.
fluffer. Oh, wait, no,
And
no.
uh,
Let's go too far. You were a fluffer. Something gay.
no, 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 no. But
I'm not
you're not
wrong!
wrong. When no, I mean about what I'm about to say. Um, the day Bob Crane, was
yeah,
left this earth, it was in the news. It was a
yeah.
big, big story, right? And we're at the dinner table and you watching the 5 o'clock news, and my dad, looks over at me and goes, "Yeah, he was like one of the gayest guys in Hollywood." And I'm like, "No way! There ain't no way freaking Hogan was gay."
He fucked
You know what I
all the
mean?
chicks on that show.
Exactly. That's what I found out
Yeah.
today. I was
But,
like, because
but
I always wondered who did it.
he did so with his buddy.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Yeah.
John
That's the
Carpenter.
guy that put that's the guy that put his
I don't know if
finger
not this.
in his butt while they
And
were having sex.
I'd always with God
No,
knows
the
how
same
many
one at the same
starlets.
time.
Okay. Well, I remember, always wondering, what happened. Every once in a while, someone brings up Hogan Heroes, and that's what I would think. It's like, I wonder if they ever caught the guy. Wonder what happened. It just because it seems so odd. He was such a likable character. As a kid growing up watching Hogan's Heroes. Anytime I was homesick from school, I was watching Hogan's
Yeah.
Heroes. That was a guarantee. I don't care how sick I was. I knew that was going to be on at like 9 o'clock in the morning after the cartoons were over, when all the old shows were on, and I'd be like, I'm gonna watch some Hogan Heroes and have me some
Ooh,
Count Chocula.
that sounds good.
And I know, right? I got a box and a half of it, and I can't eat any of it because I can't do milk.
Why can't you do
Ah, the
milk?
gods are cruel.
Uh,
But I just can't. I can do ice cream, no problem, but milk, fuck
well,
no. So I see this video uh, that says, it was
yeah.
about Bob Crane's murder, and I'm like, okay, they think they know whatever. I didn't finish the video, so I don't know
Yeah, it
what
was
the conclusion they
autoerotic
came to.
asphyxiation. He went
I'm
out the
like,
same way
okay,
Dean Kane did. Not Dean Kane. Uh,
no, 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 no. Someone beat him to death with a camera tripod,
uh yeah, it was, it
crushed
was,
his
it
head.
was probably his gay lover. But
But
I would
he
still
did he
say,
did have a cord wrapped around a VCR cord wrapped around his, not a VCR but an
uh,
electronic cable cord wrapped around his neck, but his head was caved in with a tripod, and not that kind of tripod, you perverts. And um, I was watching it, and I'm like, this is not the Bob Crane that my old man thought he knew, because this is way different than what my old man said. And I'm like, well, I guess he was wrong, because they had all this evidence,
well,
all his,
and
video live
probably your dad
and,
saw him
and
hang
everything.
around with what's his face, talking about getting it on all the time.
Probably
We'll
John
call him what's
Carpenter,
his face.
uh,
Um,
yeah, who they
his
they
gay
thought
lover.
was the murderer. They thought was the murderer because they got into
There
a
is
fight and
there is
whatever. Bob
a like a draw mocker. What do they call it when they make it documentary? But it's
Documentary.
dramatized. Uh,
Oh,
where
okay,
it's done like a film instead of like a documentary.
okay.
About that, about him being a
Because
sex
apparently he was
pest,
trying
and
to, uh, he was trying to, get out of that and stick with his second or third wife and be
yeah.
normal. Let's just call it, for lack of a. And that he had, like, told the other
Well,
guy, hey,
yeah,
we're not
because
doing
the
that
other
crap
guy
no
put his
more.
finger in his butthole while they were getting it on.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like,
I say this because
yuck,
this is specifically
right
what
off
they
the
said
top.
happened in the movie.
And I was just like, okay, first, as a kid, my image of Bob Crane was shattered because I was like, I knew about Rock Hudson and what was his name? Played Gomer Pyle.
I'm gonna have to
Can't
step
remember
Uh,
out,
his name
guys.
right now.
My kids are home.
Vince, party on, man.
Okay, no worries. I'm gonna shut this down in 26 minutes, anyways. But I knew about Rock Hudson and Gomer
Gomer
Pyle being a
Pyle.
thing, secretly, blah blah blah. And Rock Hudson was this big ladies' man, supposedly, growing up watching movies with him in it and everything. My old man tells me
Gomer
this about
Pyle.
Bob Crane. I'm like, there ain't no way. There's no way. I mean, just look at the way he did everything in Hogan's Heroes,
Hmm.
etc. Just I couldn't buy it. And then I watched this little 15-minute video, and it was just like, spin it all the way around to the other side, 180-degree turn. Oh no, he wasn't that he was a different, kind of, weirdo, behind closed doors. I was just like, what the hell? Can't people just be like normal for once? Has everybody got to turn into just a complete degenerate freak once they get a little bit of money and fame? Apparently, the answer is yes. That's exactly what happens. Um, so, Justin, hurry up and get famous so
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
will line
yeah.
up.
I
You
know. I was
know,
just thinking that I gotta. Well, at least rich. That way, Yeah,
That way it all
I can
fits.
be an
Makes sense.
absolute freaking degenerate. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, he was played by Greg Kinnear. You know Greg Kinnear? He was played by Greg
Yeah,
Kinnear.
yeah, yeah. From the Greg Kinnear band.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
the Greg
do
Kinnear
you
band.
do you know who he
What's
is? Yes.
Yeah, he was. He's yeah. I know he's kind of got a big
Yeah,
square head.
he was in the Stand miniseries, the original one. Uh,
Who did he play?
fuck, he was like one of the main guys. No, no.
Flag.
I'm going to it. He was one of the good guys. The
Was he the one who hooked up with Molly
I
Ringwald?
think so. Fuck.
Which is funny because my favorite character in that was the bad kid who was all into disco.
Uh, yeah. Fuck it. It's not showing it here on the stand. What was he in the stand? No, he must have not been.
Yeah, because that was the image I have from the two different people
Yeah,
are not the
yeah.
same
No,
guy.
I'm thinking
But
of
I,
someone
I know
else.
who he is. He was in a lot of like romantic comedies.
Yeah, he was in something that you should know. Um, the Kennedys, the Green Zone.
Was he in any of the like Spinal Tap and not Spinal Tap spoof kind of movies, like Best in Show?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
As good as it gets. Would you have seen that? Yeah,
Wasn't that with Jack Nicholson? Okay, yeah.
he
It
played
was
the
that.
gay
I
guy
couldn't remember the name
that
of it.
got beaten up,
Yeah,
and then Nicholson had to look after the dog. Uh,
yeah. So he played Bob Crane.
Bob Crane.
Yeah, you were talking about the
Oh
the
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
documentary on
I totally
Bob Crane's
forgot
work.
his name. Because I always do. Yeah, he played Bob Crane, and just had it. Go back one more. And William Defoe played John Carpenter. Yeah,
Okay, huh? William Defoe is
yeah.
just such a treasure.
But if you ever want a
Such
creepy
a,
gay guy, he's the one you hire.
I
Well,
wasn't going to say that.
look at his
Just if you want to
filmography,
creep me,
man.
yeah, I
He
know, I
plays
know.
the creepy gay guy. Like that's the character he rolls all the time.
Well, I don't know about
Well,
that, but I,
there might be
I
one or
actually
two
watched
roles
a
where he's
video
not
on
playing a
him.
creepy gay guy
Yeah, he was a great Green Goblin,
who
man.
came off kind of
Harry Osborn,
creepy
Norman
and fucking
Osborn
gay. Yeah,
in Spider Man. I don't know that I would say that. Just creepy. He was so good in that. Oh my god.
per.
Uh, you know, do you remember what the hell was the name of that show? The two doctors, the
Uh,
comedy
I need more scrubs. Okay, yeah,
Scrubs. Scrubs. Okay, you remember the doctor, not the old doctor that was a jackass, but the other one?
yeah. No, I never watched Scrubs.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no,
never
tell the
mind then.
story. We've got an audience that.
Well, the I forget. I think it was Dr. Cox, but I could be wrong. But he was the one with the great sense of humor in the
Yeah,
put down department. He would just tear people apart,
yeah.
just shred them. He played I think a gay cowboy in one movie. Um, but the first time I saw him, I was like, oh my god, hey,
Per.
what's up, Per? Uh, he was the guy who was born to play Sandman, but
Hmm.
didn't get to play him. If you remember the old comic books, Sandman had that weird sort of triangular like widow's peak kind of thing,
Yeah,
but curlyish kind of hair. He was freaking. I forget that guy's name. Um, he should have played Sandman. The guy they got was really good, but wasn't. It was just like, I was so pissed off that they didn't get
Hmm.
him to play Sandman because I couldn't watch Scrubs without going, "Oh my god, Doctor Cox is secretly Sandman."
you were such a fucking nerd.
I know, I know. Dude, I grew up with Spider Man
Spider
as a
Man,
kid. I mean,
Spider
there
Man,
wasn't a lot of,
radioactive Spider Man,
from
Spider Cat. I
from
can't remember
almost
the song.
19, let's say 1972 ish when I started, really getting into sci-fi as young as you can get into sci-fi, all the way through 1980. There was so little really good sci-fi available on like a at your fingertips,
Excuse me.
availability. You couldn't. There was, this was pre-cable. You got Star Trek on Saturday and Sunday at like 5 o'clock, so it was cool. I got to watch it with the family during dinner, I think, or maybe it was right
Hmm.
before dinner. But other than that, occasionally you might get one cartoon or something, on Saturdays or repeats of like Spider-Man. But there was no real good sci-fi, just like at your beck and call, other than comic books and paperbacks. This was, uh, you know, if you had a laserdisc player, you might have had a half a dozen sci-fi movies in your collection.
Hmm.
Uh, and it was just that was like the go-to comic books. And Spider-Man, of course, was like the first one that my parents bought me because I was sick, and my dad came home from work and brought me home a couple Spider-Man comic books. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm laying in bed, I can't do shit, I'll read me some Spider-Man. All right. you know um, but so all the superhero comic books were technically science fiction for the most part, superheroes
Technically,
anyways. And
some of them were some of them were hard fantasy, bro. There was magic. I'm pointing like the camera was
yeah,
on.
yeah, but I mean, like the Marvel universe, more so than the DC universe, was more sci-fi. DC had a lot of magic in it, but I didn't start reading DC until later. So I was you know starting to really appreciate all the different cool inventions and gadgets and scientific ideas and all that, and that's like all there was for a youngster that uh, didn't have a huge library of books. When I started buying paperbacks, they started stacking up a little. Wish I still had some of those, but now I can pretty much get them if I want. Except the Doc Savage books; those are like $20 a piece now.
Yeah. Well, you got the framework for one of those. You can just make your own, create your own character.
Yep, yep,
Uh,
yep. I might play with that after I take care of a couple other loose ends. Yeah, I haven't seen Bear in a while. I saw him on the Cleric Con, a couple of those videos, but I haven't seen a lot of people this last couple of weeks. Just busy with a bunch of
mhm.
other things that I don't usually talk about on this show. I hope Bear's doing okay. Um, Looked like everybody had an absolute blast at Claricon. Everybody keeps telling me I got to go. So, Justin, right here, man. If I go to Claricon, you're going to Claricon. Got me?
Mm.
I will find you. I will drag your lazy butt out of your hovel
uh,
and chase you all the way to Claricon.
Mm.
You know everybody there.
but I'd have to stand up and shit.
Okay, one, no, you can sit down and shit. I don't want to see anybody stand up and shit. Well, although it would be hysterical. Um, you know what I
Fucking
mean?
literal.
This doesn't work. Yeah, I'll get a wheelbarrow, whatever it takes. We'll get you. I'll rent you a wheelchair. And we'll disguise you. with like a wig and some glasses. Maybe we'll do the Invisible Man thing. Bandage your face with some
I give
sunglasses.
myself a fake nose.
And with the ascot and the bandages and the fedora. They'll all know it was
Yeah, my
you.
voice is kind of distinctive.
You know what? That would be cool too. If I could get Jackie and myself to
Yeah,
Claricon, that would
just
be,
tell him he's grounded until he goes to Clericon.
which is a year. Hey, I can do that. Jackie, you're grounded for the next year. What do you mean? You're grounded for the next year. You can't even, you're going to homeschool you, and your grade point average is going to drop 5 points. Um, but you'll be a whiz with the glue gun. Oh wait, he's already a whiz with the glue gun. It'll be milliput and green stuff. We'll spend a whole year just making him work with green stuff and milliput. This is the stuff that he hates working with the most. Um, I came up to my studio. I think it was uh, the day after Halloween, and I could tell he was here. All kinds of stuff was just like stuff was pulled out that I hadn't used. New stuff was there. The paint cup was full of brushes just sitting, in dirty water, just super glue with the cap off. All the faux pas you don't do. Uh,
Mm.
when you're crafting, you don't do these things. All kinds of paint bottles that I hadn't used in, like a year, and I don't know what the hell he was making. Some, final touches on his Halloween costume. I still don't know what the hell he was going as. He had a like a burgundy string tie, a burgundy fez, white dress shirt, some shoes I'd never
Were they
seen
white? Were they
before.
white shoes?
Just like no, they were
Okay,
like
okay,
brown dress
okay.
shoes, kind of
All right,
like
give me a minute.
um, I don't know who the hell he was going as, but B movies, yeah, yeah, we could watch some B movies while we're crafting whatever. Yeah, Justin doesn't like to go out unless it's for food. So no worries, Per. I'll
Lies.
just
I don't like
what I'll
going out
do
then
is
too. There's a phone for that.
what I'll do is I'll dress up as the local pizza guy, and then when he grabs the pizza, I'll taser him, and he wakes up and he's in
You
a
look
wheelchair, all
nothing
bandaged
like
up,
Corey.
and
Okay, so shut up.
I'll just pay Corey
Yeah, I
to
can believe
taser
you
you
do
then.
that. Did he have a cane with an
Yeah.
8 ball in the end? You
No,
probably would have liked that.
but if he, yeah, I do have a cane that's got
Okay.
uh, Horatio Nelson
Pull the
um, on
pull
the,
this
the
image up.
ball end of it. Going to it now. Yeah. Oh my God, that's it. It's not. It's the thing on the hat that gives it away.
That is
Oh my God, who is that?
the grandpa or the uncle from the cartoon Gravity Falls.
Yep, he's a fan of
Yeah,
that as well. Okay, he just didn't do the facial hair or whatever
yeah,
that's
yeah.
supposed to be.
His facial hair, his stubble.
I know because I got him a Gravity Falls hardcover big ass book
Yeah,
last year for Christmas is one of the things he asked for, and he actually took some yellow fabric and cut that Pac Man looking symbol out and put it
yeah,
on his fez and nice, nice. Now I can say, oh yeah, I know that character. Yeah, I
yeah.
know all about it.
Uh,
I don't know shit. I don't know shit.
you like that show too? That cartoon. It's got a lot of like paranormal shit in it and conspiracy theory stuff.
Tell Jackie there's good food in Claricon. Oh, I believe it.
Uh,
And yeah, just make sure you got room for Jackie and I to
Fuck no.
crash at your place, Justin.
There's a hard fuck no on that. Yeah.
Of
I
course,
like you
right?
guys, but people don't come to my place.
I'm kind of the same way. Although there's a whole bunch of people I would make an
Yeah,
exception for.
you're you're
Uh, but that's not you
you're
guys.
you're not one of them.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm not even an exception at my place. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll have to ask Jackie about it because I've never seen him watch it. But then again, he watches everything on his
yeah.
phone or his
Which
tablet,
is like,
which these days I just like. No, when I want to watch something like really enjoy it, it's got to be a bigger screen than my laptop, which is like a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11. I tried watching the Black Hole right here where I'm sitting. One night I was doing some craft project or painting something for that I had to bang out for a challenge of one sort or another, and I said screw it. I saw it on YouTube movie with commercials. I'm like, I've never seen it. It's right here, right now. Uh, okay, I'll watch it. And it was okay to watch it on this biggest screen, but it was like, I bet this would have been way better on the
yeah,
big screen. You know,
yeah. Season one of that show is like, uh, it's just like Monster of the Week. It's just a Monster of the Week show, but there's a lot more going on in season two. Yeah,
with
like,
Gravity Falls. Yeah, Jackie's very into that sort of cryptid SCP kind of thing. So I can see that being something. But as far as I know, he's never even opened up the book.
yeah. He is a child of his generation.
Hmm. Yep. Unless Wendigoon recommends it, and then of course he'll read it. At light speed.
Oh,
I don't understand.
weird.
He's reading The Road and Blood Meridian because he started reading Blood Meridian, but then he had to do a book report, and there's like, there's no way I'm doing a book report in school on Blood Meridian, so I'll do the Road. And I'm like, is it really that much better? I mean, and think about you go to school in California, you could pretty much read anything and do a book report on it at school
Yeah,
now. It seems, but at the same time, he does go to kind of a good school. They seem to not embrace a lot of that woke
you're gonna
crap.
go. You should go take a
I
tour.
told
They
the
probably
story.
got the kitty litters. It's probably the one school that actually has the kitty litter boxes.
No, no, I don't think so. When I went to the award ceremony, both times they started with a prayer, and
Prayer in
the
school.
choir came in and sang. Yeah, yeah, and an actual hymn. The
Yeah.
choir sang this really really nice hymn that I had never heard before. And it was the school was like, I was watching. I'm like watching all the people do their thing, right? And they were all like, very traditional,
Yeah.
wholesome kind of thing. And then I look at the audience, and I'm like counting all the people still wearing a
Uh,
hat indoors. I'm like, it's not going to rain in the building. You can take your damn hat off. You stand when they do the Pledge of Allegiance. You stand when they, do certain things, and just the
hmm
unbelievable, lack of respect for
Well,
certain
it's all
things,
decorum.
that used to.
Yeah.
It just none of it.
I, I understand the practicality of not taking your hat off, but I also understand the respect issue. Like it's annoying having to
Yeah,
deal with something like carrying it around. Yeah.
yeah, but at the very least, when you stand for
Yeah.
the national anthem,
Put it on your seat.
you take it off. But there, half the audience was sitting. I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to go and smack each one of them. I was like, can I get myself like a rubber ping pong paddle and just run down the aisle? Stand up. Okay, now you can sit down. It's like, but
Oh. Fucking degenerates.
Yeah, it's simple things like that just
Yeah.
the word class and classy is just like kind of left our lexicon.
Well,
It seems.
those are always supremist terms.
I don't know, man. I've seen some folks of every walk of life
Yeah,
display
no.
those
That's
qualities.
what they say. They're rich supremacists.
Hmm. And it's just anytime I have been in that mode, you know it just feels really good to to do those things, to just your own level of self-respect, just like it just ups it a notch. And guess they're not interested, or they don't, you know
Yeah,
I don't know, they weren't raised right, or raised elsewhere, which I know doesn't fly, because everywhere across the planet still has places where those values are still in place. Just
yeah.
depressing.
I don't know, man.
What are you gonna do?
Tasers.
Tasers,
That
tasers, lots
that
of
is my
tasers, lots of
policy.
tasers.
Tase everything until it's tased, and then
Mm.
tase it some more.
Yep. It's not done. It's not done being tased until it's foaming at the mouth, right? Which is really weird, because every time I see that in Hollywood, it's like, that looks fake. You just chewed up a bunch of Alka Seltzer, you know,
Grunkle Stan.
not a whole Alka. It's usually like a quarter of an Alka Seltzer is what they use. But I've had seizures. I've never looked like that in my life. If I did, I would.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. Um, I don't
For
even know how
what?
you would do that, without Alka Seltzer,
Oh yeah,
foam at the
yeah,
mouth. I was like, what's actually happening to make that? Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe Doc could tell us, because he's an actual
yeah. Is he?
doctor.
I thought he was
What's going
a
on?
slacker.
Yeah, I was. That's why I used the
Yeah.
air quotes. Um, I don't know. I don't know what Doc does.
Uh.
I just figured he calls
Yeah.
himself a doc. Maybe he knows why people foam at
Rabies.
the mouth. I don't know. Yeah, there's that. There's that. A lot of that going around. A lot of that. So you ready for tomorrow's
Uh.
game?
Ready as I always am, which is like being a slacker and just
Okay.
showing up and rolling some dice.
Yeah, no, just making sure you didn't have
Not that I
other
know of.
plans. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I've been trying to get Raven and Grim together all week, so that I could, get them off the dang island and back onto the ship. And between Raven's, things that happened this week, my stuff that happened this week, and Grim just falling off the face of the earth, except to send me humorous memes. He sent me, what did he send me today? He sent me a video.
Well,
Oh,
well,
no, it's not here.
their characters can die.
Yeah,
I offered to give Raven a
yep,
perfectly good obedient slave girl to play last week.
yeah, I know. And just like not interested. I can't imagine. Um, Grim sent me. See if I can bring it up.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
you
he
could have
got he
like
sent it.
whipped up some basic stats for that character off the like incompetent at everything stat. No,
Maybe. Oh, he sent me Beavis and Butthead roast Kamala and the View, Lizzo and Tim something. I'm not going to bring it up here, but you can
I
look
don't
at
care.
it. I didn't know I didn't know Beavis and Butthead were a
I'm
thing.
pretty sure it's photoshopped.
Oh dear God! I'm going to save this one. I'll send it
They
to you.
just came out with a new Beavis and Butthead movie like a year or two ago.
This is,
Michael Butcher. I can't remember his name. Yeah, the guy that's
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a meme that Grim sent me. I'm not gonna share it on YouTube because we're about to say
yeah.
goodnight. But I'll leave you with this, buddy. Da-da-da,
If you can figure it
let's see if it comes out. There it is. There you go.
out.
Enjoy.
I'm sorry, Mister Mummy. You're not getting well from this. Not without a good amount of prep. Remember, kids, take your prep.
Oh, yeah, yep, yep. And that's
Yeah,
from Grim.
and I
So
guess party on. We're ending the show now. Uh,
yep. Happy trails, folks. I will see you guys. Actually, I'm going to make a short video to show off this and wish my good friend Armstrong a happy belated birthday. I just got to go downstairs and get the camera. But I will see everybody else Monday over on Justin's show, unless Hungar decides to do one, which I think if we pester him enough tomorrow, maybe he'll do that because
yeah.
that would be awesome. And then we could only do an hour
Oh,
show Monday
we can only
and
do an
get on
hour
with the.
show on Monday anyway if you want.
Yeah, only if it's Hungar. Otherwise,
I,
the regular cast of characters are going to want to show up,
yeah,
and you know. But if we get Hungar to do the
I, I,
show, then we get to hang
I'm
out with
super
Hungar. I mean,
okay with that either
that's what it's
way.
all about. All right. Well, we'll
Okay.
talk about it tomorrow. With I'm gonna give Hungar a call tomorrow afternoon. Just say, hey,
Yeah.
man, we miss you. Go do a show tomorrow, and
The,
you
the,
know, take it from there. So I will see everybody else
yeah.
Monday, one way or the other, 10 a.m. avocado time or noon, whatever the other time
Yeah.
zones
Yeah.
are. I
Real
forget.
time.
I don't live in.
Real time.
Yeah, real time. So have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you soon.